the lessons we learned in the previous dramatic decade. This is the basic reason. We try to avoid the mistakes of the past because it was obvious that for certain years our country was living beyond its means. So after having the previous dramatic decade, there is another, let's say, economic policy based on best international and European practice. What does it mean? Prudence, fiscal prudence on one hand, and a business-friendly approach on the other hand. This is our policy mix. We are not trying to get the Nobel Prize in economics, but as I said, we try to have a common sense approach. And this is working. We have tangible results.
Is there some irony that your economy is now growing strongly and other economies in Europe, namely Germany, barely growing this year, and concerns about competitiveness of Europe?
We will not try to teach lessons to others. We have to continue to be credible and deliver visible results. Of course, there are lessons to be learned for Europe in general, but our priority is the Greek economy, to cover the gap which was created during the previous decade. This is our effort, and that's why during the discussions we had over the new fiscal rules of the European Union and the flexibility they gave to certain member states, I said that irrespective of these rules, Greece will continue to follow the fiscal prudence path. Why? Because except the surveillance of the European Commission, we have the surveillance, we don't have any illusions, we have the surveillance of the international markets and the investors. So we have to continue transmitting the message of credibility.
Debt levels in Greece are still high. You're one of the most indebted members of the Eurozone. What is the plan from here to try and reduce that debt pile?
There is an impressive reduction of Greece's public debt. The public debt to GDP ratio has been reduced in an impressive way, the most significant reduction in the whole European Union. And our plan is to continue the same fiscal prudence path in order to have even better results. If you see the reports coming from the European Commission, from the OECD, other international organizations, all of them admit that there is a visible progress as regards the economic policy of Greece and, of course, the reduction of public debt over the last 4.5 years. I refer to the Mitsotakis government.
As you focus on your own economic plan, Europe is also focusing on it, and we have seen a whole host of reports from Mario Draghi to Enrico Letta about the competitiveness of Europe, when Draghi is saying, look, China and the United States are no longer playing by global rules, which means there's soul searching in Europe. A lot of the answers seem to be more Europe, greater Europe. How hard is that to sell at home when the populists were very active in Greece for a long time? Brexit was even one of the prospects.
Look, as regards Europe, yes, the answer is more, I would say, more efficient Europe. And the key word is competitiveness. That's why we have to take seriously into account the Draghi report, which will be issued in the coming months, the Letta report on the single market. We have to proceed with the banking union, the third pillar of the banking union. We have to improve the mechanisms of the single market, to examine some other mechanism covering the single procurement process in certain areas in order to stimulate growth in the European Union. That will be beneficial for Greece because we are a member state of the European Union. But as I said, regardless of the policies adopted in Brussels, will continue the same policy mix. This is the decision of this government, the Mitsotakis government, who are determined to press ahead with the same policy mix in order to cover the investment gap, to attract more investments in Greece, because this is the secret, of course, in order to create new jobs. And we are absolutely satisfied that American giants like Pfizer, JP Morgan, Cisco, Google, Amazon, Microsoft decided after many years to expand their activities in Greece or to invest for the first time in Greece.
As we talk about banking union in Europe, it has been something we've watched in your country unfold, that there are still scars from the last crisis. You flagged plans to press ahead with the sale of remaining stakes in 5 banks. How significant a milestone is that?
I mean, as you know, our banks paid in the past for the mistakes of the state. Contrary to other countries, the banks were not the reason for having the crisis we faced during the previous decade. Now our banks are advancing. Recently we had 4 divestment processes in the 4 systemic banks of Greece, quite successfully. That was a vote of confidence of the international investors and market to the Greek banks and the Greek economy. And I think that this is closely linked to the policy we implement in Greece in general, as regards the economy, of course.